Hello everyone, Joel Tubman here, and you join me at the London Club alongside Dan Parker, Golf Monthly staff writer, where we're going to build our ultimate bags. From driver all the way down to putter and golf ball, there's been a lot of exciting products launched this year. We've cleverly disguised them here in each of our golf bags, Dan.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say 2022, it's been a great year for product?
Yeah, so many exciting clubs have come out. I can think of one for each, and we're going to talk about them in a little bit. But I love this time of year, sort of reflecting on what's been released this year and sort of building the ultimate bag, you know, not thinking about price or whatever, just going, what was the best club in each category? I think we've picked some great options that you'll see very shortly. Should
be a really exciting video. So without further ado, let's dive through the different categories, starting with the driver. Right, so starting with the driver, I'm going to throw to you, Dan, first.
Exciting.
First of all, it's an incredibly competitive category.
I know.
What is in your ultimate bag for driver?
Right, I'm going to reveal it from this hastily crafted cover. It is the Cobra LTD X. I've gone for the standard version, Joel, just because that's the one I would go for. Eagle-eyed amongst you will notice this is right-handed. I am left-handed. I have hit this, it just happens to be a right-handed sample, just for the avoidance of doubt. And why do I like this so much this year? I'm going to start with the looks. I think that carbon crown is really, really nice. And my game is the G425, which makes quite a high pitch noise, and I'm sort of getting a bit tired of that, maybe, might we say. So this makes a really, really sort of deep crack.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but that noise has really appealed to me. And my off-centre hits have been really good with it as well when I was testing it. And I just think it really impressed. And when we talk about value in drivers as well, Joel, I think this comes in a good £100 cheaper than some other ones we might talk about in a little while. I think that offers great value for money.
I agree, it feels awesome. Lots of different models to suit different player types, but that model in particular is very versatile and very forgiving as well. Excellent choice. I think Neil picked it as his favourite driver.
He did,
this year.
yeah. I
well,
consulted Neil on this. And,
understandably,
this is
why you picked that.
Yeah.
I haven't picked that. I've picked a completely different driver. It is the Titleist TSR3, the new driver from Titleist. Obviously, this is the one with the movable weight in it, a few different options, 5 different positions. And what I like about this driver is that you can really customize it to see the ball flight that you really want to see. So, you know, I like to see a straight ball flight. I have a problem of turning the ball too far over to the left. So with this driver, I can really customize it with a flat lie angle, move that weight in tow. It really gets me dialed in terms of my start lines and my ball flight that I want to see. It feels incredibly powerful, gives me really good distance. It just gives me a lot more control of where the ball's going, essentially.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I don't struggle with power, I struggle with accuracy.
Definitely.
This is delivering the performance that I really need it to.
And it's just a classic look as well. I love the look of the Cobra, you know, with that sort of matte carbon top, but I think this is just a classic looking driver. It's pretty perfect.
If you're a traditionalist, you will love the look of this driver,
100%.
and you definitely won't be let down by the performance.
Okay, next up, Joel, we're going to talk about Fairway Woods. What have you gone for in a part of the bag that I think people can be a bit playful with, actually, with lofts and styles as well in particular? Yeah,
people use fairways in a lot of different situations, off the tee, off the deck, etc. I've gone back to back with Titleist.
Oh wow! Unheard of.
I'm not sponsored by Titleist, but this club has really transformed my play, especially off the tee. You know, I struggle to really get on with a fairway actually off the tee, and you know, this TSR3 in particular has more movable weight now, so you can really dial in the ball flight. It feels incredibly solid, and I like the full face grooves as well on this club. It just helps you with alignment and getting you sort of aimed exactly where you want the ball to start. So I've transferred from the TSI3 into this TSR3. I've had a lot more control and a bit more distance as well, so it's a double whammy for me, and it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Would you say that TSR was a bit of an evolution from TSI, or a revolution, or they just sort of refined what was already quite good about a decent club in the TSI?
Definitely refining it, but they've made more drastic changes in the fairwood, I would say, than the driver. So if you are looking for a new fairwood, I think versus TSI3, you'll see more gains than you would maybe with the driver, because with the driver, I think I was about 1 yard longer, so not massively versus the TSI, but TSI was considerably longer and straighter as well.
Interesting.
What have you gone for?
Oh, I haven't got it in the bag, unfortunately. I don't have the sample on me, but I've gone for the TaylorMade Stealth.
Excellent choice.
And this was one of the exciting launches at the start of 2022, wasn't it? Especially the driver with the red face. But I've gone for the Fairway Wood, which doesn't have the red face, but I still think looks unbelievable at address, that sort of all black finish. Matt Moore, our Fairways expert, gave it as his favourite of the year, and I can see why. Long, straight, looks great, sounds great. I don't know what else to say, really. I think it's kind of the perfect fairway wood. Yeah,
and I think it's very versatile for a lot of different situations. And the turf interaction as well, it's got a nice smooth sole to it, so it kind of skims through. the deck if you're hitting it off the grass. It really gives you good turf interaction and it pops it up nicely.
So 2 good fairway woods there, I think. One if you want to have a little tinker and dial in your game, and one if you want an absolute rocket ship off the tee, off the deck. 2 good options there.
Right, so we're moving on to hybrids. Again, it's a club that a lot of golfers hit or favour different shots with it, depending on what they're after. What have you gone for, Dan? And
yeah, you've got to find one that, you know, you're going to use it off the tee, out of the rough, into par 5s. I have gone for here, my current game, I've had it for a while now, the Ping G425, and you can see I've had it a while because it's a little bit battered and bruised, but you know, it's got me out of some funky situations, and I dropped it on the floor, which isn't advisable. Why do I like it so much? Again, I love that all black matte sort of finish, hence why I like the Stealth Fairway so much. And I love the amount of loft you sort of see at address. It frames the ball really nicely with these white lines that go into black in the center of the face. So it makes it really easy and comfortable to hit in a lot of different situations. As I said, out of the rough, I love it. And I think if you're looking for forgiveness more than distance, I'd go for something like this. Not that it doesn't go a long way, but I think you can hit a lot of the face and get away with it.
Definitely.
Down into 5 and 6 hybrid as well, if you're that kind of golfer. And most importantly, Joel, adjustability. So you can really dial it in to a certain loft and get that gapping in the bag right. So an all-rounder, I can see it's been in my bag for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly talk very favourably about it.
I'm very passionate about my G425 hybrid, yeah.
No, excellent choice, that makes sense. So my choice in the hybrid category, I haven't got one with me, but it is the Callaway Apex UW. Have tested it a few times, and I really love how it's a unique concept that it offers. It's in being slightly longer in length than a hybrid, shorter than fairway wood. So it's a bit like a kind of more powerful hybrid, and my testing has shown it to be considerably longer than most hybrids in the same loft. So you're going to get more distance from it. It's very forgiving, it's very good out of the rough, and it's very good off the tee. So it ticks a lot of boxes for a hybrid if you're struggling with your driver and you don't really get on with fairway wood. You know, in terms of that shape and size, it sits in between a hybrid and a fairway wood. So I like the kind of that larger hybrid profile at address. It gives you a lot of confidence. So in terms of versatility and performance, I can't really fault it, and it's an option I think a lot of golfers should try.
Right, next up, Joel, let's talk about irons. This is a part of the market I think people, you know, it's very dense. There's a lot of options out there. So what have you gone for as your best of the bunch, the best of a large bunch, really, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really tricky. So I test irons for Golf Monthly predominantly, and I've tested an awful lot of irons this year. Honourable mentions for the Ping I230 and the Mizuno Pro 225.
Good shouts.
Which are excellent clubs. But my choice for this year is the new PXG 0317 ST blade. So this is like a muscle back style design. But what I love about this club, I think it looks great. It's got this mill pat on the back and the weight right in the middle, is that it has a different feeling at impact than versus a lot of blades. So it has a bit more spring to it. It's a bit more lively than a traditional blade. And as a result, it was actually quite long for me, longer than most irons of a similar loft, and a bit more forgiving as well. So if you're looking to play a compact bladed club that gives you a little bit more performance, I'd thoroughly recommend this iron from PXG. It feels fantastic, really soft as well. Soft and springy, perfect combination for an iron, I think. So that's why I've gone for this one.
It looks so cool, doesn't it? It's really unique, actually. That sort of back profile there, I think, is really nice.
I've just forgotten as well, if you're looking for more forgiveness in the long irons, you do get kind of cavity back style long irons as well. So I like that you get a blended set, giving you more performance where you need it, which is a really good thing.
Because I don't think you're going to want that in the 4-iron. That might get a bit tough, so it's good they've looked out for people there.
Exactly, and I need as much help as I can get. So
especially in that part.
I appreciate it, PXG.
Well done. Good choice. I've gone for my gamer again. Where is it? Here it is. Reveal the whole bag down here.
Can I just, do we like the word gamer? Let us know in the comments down below. I think it's a bit naff. But...
Oh, I like gamer. You sound like a player then. I was like, this is my gamer. As though I've got loads and loads of options.
Okay, what have you gone for?
My gamer. The Ping I-59. Now, I've been using these for about a year. My handicap's gone down about 4 shots since then. And that isn't just down to these. Other parts of my game have improved. But they've really helped, and they've helped in a number of ways. I've not hit the balls as far as in my old irons, but I have way more control over flight. The distances are consistent. You don't get any random flyers. You know, some clubs you can get, they just power 10 yards further every now and again. Not great. So control and then looks. Down by the ball, super compact, lovely narrow top line. I'll be honest, I struggle in the 5 and the 4-iron a little bit, like to head to the point of the PXG. So that's something to bear in mind. But again, for a compact iron, they're pretty hard to not enjoy, I think.
Maybe some I230s in the long iron, perhaps.
And since they came out a couple of months ago, I've been really tempted by that, actually.
Lots of technology packed into. They are quite expensive, but an excellent club nonetheless.
Yeah, agreed.
100%. Right, now we move on to wedges, the scoring clubs in your bag, Dan. If you need to get up and down under pressure, what are you going for?
Well, don't come to me full stop. My short game's terrible, like really quite bad. But a club that has helped and that I've tested, which I really, really enjoyed, I would like to have these as my gamer, word of the video, by the way, is...
Disclose the other clubs.
Yeah, I'm showing the other clubs.
Okay.
The Callaway Jaws Raw wedge. Now, the shaping, I think you would argue, Joel, is a little bit Marmite. It's quite triangular, especially at the top. But what you do get is the full face grooves, which I love in a wedge. And you'll see it in other manufacturers now, but especially at the bunker in your higher lofted ones, to have that, in case you do hit it high and toey, which you might on a certain chip shot, really helpful. Plenty of spin. And that raw face is pretty cool. I like it when a wedge looks weathered, I would say.
Okay.
I like that whole aesthetic. So, yeah, what do you think about that shaping? That quite triangular sort of top edge. You'll be able to see it now.
It's different. We're seeing more manufacturers opt for something like this. And I think what I like about that is that the face is raw, so you get the performance from that. People say it spins more. I'm a bit sceptical about that. But the back of the wedge is chrome plated, so
yes, of course.
It looks pristine.
Totally rusty.
For longer, but
looks fine in the bag, won't it?
Yeah. And lots of options from Callaway as well in terms of grinds.
Really important. I think we both what we're going to talk about is, get a fit, go to a manufacturer that has plenty of options, because depending on the turf you play on, the way you approach the ball, it's going to need changing. So yeah, a good option there for sure.
That leads me on very nicely to my choice of wedge, which is the Vokey SM9. Won't be surprising to a lot of you. This is a new wedge for this year, and I absolutely love the options that you get with this,
it's hard to look past these, really,
model. So 6 different sole grinds, and what's interesting, so I went for a fitting with these, and every time I go for a Vokey wedge fitting, I change my grind or I change my loft.
Interesting.
And it does that education process, learning about how different soles interact with the ground. You discover new ways to execute different shots around the green. A classic example is in my lob wedge. I now have a 60 degree, whereas I went from a 58 before into a 60, and I have this K grind, which is essentially kind of like a wide sole.
I love that K grind. I think it's really, really cool.
Just makes it so much easier. You can see here we've got some tight lies around the green. If you needed to play a lob wedge, if you needed height to stop the ball quickly, you're getting a lot more forgiveness through the turf on this particular shot, and in bunkers as well. Gives you a lot more margin for error. You can kind of thud it through the sand, the ball just pops up. So, definitely recommend you go through a wedge fitting, because you'll be surprised at how the choice of grind affects the interaction and the feel you get through the turf, and your ability to successfully execute different shots. So yeah, SM9, you get that classic Vokey look. I love the shape of it, the profile of it, and the spin control is definitely one of the very best of anything out there on the market. 2
really good options there, I think, Joel. There's plenty of other brands we could have chosen from, but I think the key is go get a fitting, make sure those grinds suit the shots you're trying to play, the turf you play on, and you can't get much wrong, really. Right, let's move on to the putter, exciting part of the bag. Again, lots of shapes, lots of sizes. I like to tinker with putters. I like having 3 or 4 on the go at once.
Do you?
Yeah, just because I putt that badly that I need to mix it up every now and again. Let's move on. Which putters do you go for?
Well, I can't pick even roll every year, so I have to pick something else. And I did consult with our putter expert, Martin Hopley, because I had an inkling of what I was going to choose, and he kind of reaffirmed exactly what I should go for. And the answer is the Scotty Cameron Phantom X range, particularly the 11.5 model. So it's that kind of squat mallet shape, which I really like. I think I'm not a big fan of mallet putters. They're quite unwieldy for me, even though they do offer some good alignment assistance. But I like this kind of smaller shape of this. You still get loads of alignment assistance, and obviously it's a Scotty Cameron, so it looks fantastic. And you just get that really nice, solid, stable feel from it. It rolls the ball really well, but it's more the feel. It's quite a firm feel. I prefer that versus a soft feel. So, and honestly, that helps if you're using a soft feeling golf ball, that combination of a firm putter and the trend we're seeing towards more soft golf balls out there. It's a nice combination. So I think Scotty Cameron has really nailed it with this new Phantom X range, in particular the 11.5 shape.
So as a man who likes a blade, you still, because it's quite a compact mallet, it still doesn't look too unwieldy.
It doesn't play, it plays more like a blade than a mallet.
But you get that forgiveness of a mallet because there's a bit more perimeter weighting around.
It's very user friendly,
Good choice there, Joel. I think you've nearly sold me on that, but I think mine is better. You might have already seen it because I kept flashing the bag. However, my purchase of the year is the SICK DW 2.0 C Series. Now, earlier in the year, we took 2 Golf Monthly readers to get a SICK fitting, and I got to watch that take place, and I had a little go with it myself, obviously the left-handed version. And this DLT face is unreal. So DLT is descending loft technology. So the loft from the top of the face is 4 degrees, and in the bottom it's 1, going down 4 to 1. And what it basically means is wherever you strike it on the face, high or low, the consistency of the ball roll will be much better. It's not going to launch and hit the ground or launch up too much. And these 2 readers we had, their fittings, the way they were rolling the ball after just getting this in their hand, not changing anything with their stroke, was amazing, and I felt that when I had to go with it as well. This is the sort of double blade shape. I would probably go for the fang shape they've got. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, just because I prefer that look.
Flow.
The flow, that is it. Good job you're here. But I still like this double blade as well, actually, because it's pretty stable. But it's all about a DLT face for me.
Okay.
And this Jumbo Max grip as well, which I really, really like. So you've tried these, haven't you? And this,
Yeah.
Are you as, because I know some people don't like the feel off this as much. I love it, and that consistency of roll, when you see the numbers, is outrageous.
So I think the looks could be better. I think it doesn't really have that premium look to match the premium price. But there's a couple of things that you haven't mentioned. The first, that DLT face actually helps if you're returning more or less shaftly into the ball. It kind of counteracts that, so you essentially get more margin for error, especially on long putts where it's a longer motion, more can go wrong. So it gives you a bit more consistency on long putts. And the other thing I like about the stick putters is they're quite upright in lie angle, so that essentially it encourages you to have your hands a bit higher at address, which should limit kind of wrist movement and therefore face rotation. So I've enjoyed how consistently the start lines were with having that kind of new posture position, and it's very consistent, very easy to line. Like you said, that double wide shape is a really nice combination of being forgiving and having good alignment assistance while playing a bit more like a blade for those who have a traditional feel to their putter. So.
Yeah, good summary there, Joel. But it's definitely one you have to go for a fitting for, I think, just because there's quite a lot of tech going on. I definitely agree that finish could be a bit more premium, because they're quite an expensive putter at the end of the day, and you feel like you can spend the same amount of money and get a more premium looking putter. But two good options there, I think, in a very congested market.
Okay, last but by no means least, we move on to that piece of equipment you use on every golf shot. It is the all-important golf ball. Dan, what have you chosen?
Unless you whiff it, obviously, then you won't be using it every golf shot, but don't whiff it.
Not a shot I'm familiar with.
No, likewise. Well, I've gone for the Wilson Triad. Now, I went into a shop and bought this myself, Joel.
I heard this.
Because I needed some golf balls. And now I don't like spending a lot on golf balls because I'll carve them into a lake. So I like to keep that price below £40 dollars. And I saw these for $34.99 at the time and thought, let's give them a go. And I was really, really impressed with them. And firstly, before I've even hit the ball, they look good, don't they? They look like a premium ball. And we spoke about this on the Gear of the Week show on our YouTube channel, whereby I can't put my finger on what that is, but it's something about the font or the colour.
Yeah, or the
that
finish.
make it look really premium, the finish. So you get that premium finish to start, which is really, really good. And then the performance was really good. Nice and soft on the face around the greens, which I like. I don't create a lot of spins, so I didn't really notice that. But with my driver, a nice penetrating ball flight, could get plenty of distance out with it. And for $34.99 for a dozen, I think that enters that value conversation. So really impressed with the Wilson Triad.
So I've gone a bit left field with my golf ball of choice down this video. I would normally go for the Pro V1X from Titleist. It's the golf ball I play, but that technically isn't new for this year, so I've mixed it up a little bit and I've gone for, it is a Titleist, but it's the Titleist Tour Speed, which is sits at that price point slightly under the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. And what I like, we were talking about the finish of a golf ball. This probably doesn't have the premium look of a Pro V1 or a Pro V8. I think it's a slightly glossier finish. The font's a bit thicker. Gives a point of difference.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That aside, this performs and plays very similar to a Pro V1, which is what I think every golf ball wants to do.
Pretty much.
Sets the standard of performance. It's long off the tee. It's very long with the iron, probably longer than a Pro V1X that I play with the irons. It's pretty responsive around the greens, maybe has a slightly higher flight on kind of semi-long pitch shots, but still reacts pretty well in terms of spin control and feels good with the putter. So you're not trading off an awful lot by selecting this versus a Pro V1X, and you get a bit more help from this side stamp design. It's quite a cool alignment tool if you're looking for a bit more
It's
help.
quite a detailed one, actually, isn't it? Sometimes it's just the sort of the model name with the ball and that's it. So I like it's got a bit of arrows and a bit of lineage on it.
And I think price for most golfers is probably the number one kind of factor when they're thinking about investing in a new golf ball. And coming in $10, $15 cheaper than a Pro V1X, I think you're getting an awful lot of performance for your price. And this is a competitive category, but this is right up there with the very best in terms of that mid-price option.
Good bit of analysis there, Joel, because I think that's a ball not a lot of people have heard of because of how much the Pro V1 dominates the market. But I think one tip before we leave golf balls is pick one you like, stick with it, and don't just pick ones out of trees and that, because you'll get that sort of incremental performance gains from it if you do pick one of these or any on the market.
100%.
So there you have it. Those are our ultimate golf bags of 2022. Some really good clubs in there. I think mine was a more ultimate bag, Joel. I'll be honest. I'd rather have mine. Let us know down in the comments which bag you would pick, actually. Price is an option. You get a full set of everything. Which one would you go for? I think mine edges it out.
Well, you picked a hybrid from last year, so...
Yeah, but it's that good that I'll just keep it. Like, I'm keeping that forever, so you know it's got to be in there.
Well, let us know in the comments, you know, whose bag did you prefer? Which clubs do you think we probably should have put in that didn't? We'd love to hear from you down below. Let us know, and do click the like button if you like this video, and subscribe to the channel, because then you won't miss any of our equipment and videos. But that's all from us, from the London Golf Club. We'll see you next time.